Hello, everybody. Welcome to the JD Theory Podcast. Today, we're going to be looking at NWA Powerrr, the episode 10, season 24, 9/30/25. Twice Bitten, name of the episode. And yeah, we're going to run through this, discuss, talk about the matches. I haven't really seen too much content that covers NWA Powerrr, so I thought this could be an interesting episode because I am covering Raw episodes on the podcast right now. So I'm like, that's a good exposure to something different type of content. Talk about Powerrr every other episode. So let's get right into it. We're looking at the first match. We had the Cloud9 Cowboys versus Knox and Murdoch. Now, after previous week, Eric Smalls, was jumped by Knox and Murdoch at the Crockett Cup. And we have Eric Smalls. Here's my notes. He's now aligned with Cloud9 boys after Crockett Cup beatdown. Knox and Murdoch are coming off being the Crockett Cup runner-ups with real heat on them. They're still holding the tag team belts. Trevor Murdoch's ring physicality is great. Knox and Murdoch squash these guys, finish with the high-low. Eric Smalls gets on the microphone saying he wants to compete against them. And they accept the challenge, of course. Now, what did this match accomplish? It's moving the divide further. It's really turning Knox and Murdoch true heels, getting real heel heat. Of course, they didn't win the Crockett Cup. I could see them... I don't exactly know where they're going because they do hold the belts. I imagine the Crockett Cup winners... Was it the Colognes? Did the Colognes win? No, the Immortals. Immortals won. So I could see Immortals, going for the championship belt, and maybe that's what's happening. I mean, right now, this mini feud with Eric Smalls, pun intended, it's been funny. I mean, sorry, but seeing a little guy get beat up, I could do that every week, it makes me laugh. Then we go to... Oh, wait, so what did this match accomplish? It accomplished setting up Knox and Murdoch as heels and their divide from Eric Smalls. I think it was a good match. It was a squash match, essentially, but, dude, Knox and Murdoch still solid in the ring, especially Trevor Murdoch. Then we go to this weird video game store segment. Here are my notes. I wrote, honestly, I have no clue what's going on in these segments. Writing needs to be far more clear. These have been happening for weeks, and I don't know what's going on in that store. What did this segment accomplish? I'm going to say nothing, because I don't know what's happening. It's just the language used. It's just shouting and yelling. I'm like, what is going on here? Like, what? Then we have Knox and Murdoch do a promo. They're mocking Eric Smalls. They can't decide who's going to fight him. It was pretty funny. It's setting up later tonight. Then we get into Match of the Night. Now, if you are new to Powerrr, dude, honestly, you could watch all the episodes on Roku. There's only 10 in this current season right now. We've completed the Crockett Cup. That is the only major arc that has happened. Now we're setting up NWA 77, but we're not there yet. We're coming off the Crockett Cup. We're moving into 77. And we get Alex Misery versus Rich Swann. Now this was for the number one contender for the junior heavyweight title to face Alex Taylor, and it's Rich Swann's NWA debut. And I'll tell you, here's what I wrote for the notes on this. Rich Swann knows how to move in that ring. Fun spots. The kick-ups from the start, immediately great. Alex Taylor is on commentary too. Pretty funny. I wrote match of the night for sure. This match was breathtaking. And I was not familiar with Rich Swann before this match. But, dude, you need to watch this. Even Alex Misery looked great in ring. I wrote every spot was amazing. Swann and Misery put on a banger. Very excited to see Rich Swann's next match and NWA 77. So, the assumption here is that we see Rich Swann versus Alex Taylor at 77, which will be a great match, no doubt in my mind. Now, what did this match accomplish? It accomplished a lot. Great debut, beautiful match, and we get a championship contender for the next big pay-per-view. So yeah, highlight of the night, this whole segment right here, this match, great. Then we go to Carson Drake, who he's been getting yelled at by Aaron Stevens, who is formerly known as Damian Sandow, and they've been building an alliance, but Aaron, he keeps seeing Carson Drake backstage, and he's like, work with me, man. Your title shots have not been working out for you. And he just, this time, he lays it in way too thick. He pretty much just calls him a broke loser. So Drake says no to the alliance, which shocked me. Because I'm like, what have we been doing these last 3 weeks then, if he's just going to say no, right? So what did this segment accomplish? There's definitely a swerve in there. I think it may have accomplished a rivalry. Because now, where does Carson Drake go, right? That's what we're going to be asking ourselves, what's going to happen next? So it's a setup. Then we have Eric Smalls versus Knox and Murdoch, ? Because, all right, Mike Knox attacks the ref before the bell even rings. They beat up Smalls again, which I wrote here. It never fails to make me laugh. This is great. Then they do a fake out for the high-low. One goes high, one goes low. And this is such a good spot. Since, Eric Smalls, he's like 3 feet tall. I mean, they they do the move on their knees. It's stupid, but it's so good. This Eric Smalls, Knox and Murdoch situation, I'm here for it. So what did this match accomplish? There's no going back now. All right, this is ridiculous. I'm a fan. Then we go to, now this has been building up in the background. Somebody has passed away, and they're looking to be a benefactor of some of the competitors. And so last week, there is a $12 million inheritance, and they are looking to, they're kind of being proctored, like, give me a reason what you'd use the money for. We hear what everybody has to say, what they would do with the money if given the chance to have it. And, these are ranging from wholesome to silly, and everybody pretends they're doing it for the kids, for the youth. We should build a skate park for the kids, It was straight politicking. And then Aaron Stevens was the private inheritor, and he starts, talking personal finance. Everybody's like, shut up, dude. And it kind of just ends there. So I don't know where this is going. What did this segment accomplish? I don't really know, if anything, if it accomplished anything. This is just like the odd background subplots that we get in Power. I think they really need to hire like a solid writer. Get like a C-level writer for these segments, because it's very easy to get lost in what's being achieved here. Then we get to a Tom Latimer promo, who is the NWA World Champion. Thrill Billy Silas Mason has been calling him out the last few weeks. Here's his response. He tells Thrillbilly to earn your shot. And I kind of felt this because he was calling out Mims and then he just pivoted to Tom. And, I was kind of getting hyped for the Mims match, right? But then Mims is now doing this thing with Pope. We'll get to that later tonight. I would like to see Thrillbilly versus Tom Latimer at 77. And, dude, Thrillbilly could totally win this. And it probably would not be clean. There'd probably be some shenanigans, but that's going to be a great match. Give me that match. I'll take it. Love Thrillbilly. Dude has been electric all year. Then we cut to Aaliyah James versus Tiffany Nieves. And it's a 6:05 time limit on the defense because I believe Tiffany, it's like a lucky 7. You need to win 7 matches to get a shot at the world title. Is that what's happening? I believe it's happening. Don't quote me on that. La Princesa is in control on this one. She grabs the ref, which almost opens up for a roll-up for James to win. But La Princesa taps out Aaliyah James with the royal seat. Now, what did this match accomplish? We're making Tiffany look strong. Going into 77. She was also in that video game store scene. I didn't know what was happening. But they're giving her the spotlight right now. They're building up to something. This match in particular, I don't know if it accomplished anything. But sometimes that's okay. Sometimes you just want to have a champion on TV winning. Those are the circumstances in which I always approve a semi-filler match, because if you look at WWE, you only see title defenses if there's a storyline that needs title defense. And I know everybody loves storylines, but can we get the champion fighting? Champions need to fight. I can't think of anybody in the NWA who's not a fighting champion. Then we have Natalia Markova. She calls out Kenzie Page for the title. Kenzie Page has been killer on Powerrr. So I'm assuming this is the match we're going to get at 77. Or maybe it happens in the build-up. Who knows? But yeah, Natalia has beaten her sister, what's her name? Kylie Page? Yeah. So I guess it could be justified. Get that match. We could see that match. Kenzie Page is great. Then we have Joe Kazana and the Country Gentlemen. They call out Tom and Hunter, coming off their last week victory against the Rewind Society. What's happening here is, the Country Gentlemen are picking up steam again. They were a first-round exit in the Crockett Cup, so we need to get this ball rolling here. And there was a funny spot last episode. Joe Kazana, I forget who. He hit somebody with the book, and that made me laugh out loud. The book is great. He's like reading the book. He's like, over here, paragraph 4. It's in the book. It's so stupid, dude. But yeah, Joe Kazana's funny. Now, what did these promos accomplish? We're setting up for 77. The Country Gentlemen, I do think, at least every other episode, they should beat somebody. They need steam. I don't know if they'll have a title match going into 77, but Joe Kazana could pull some strings as the territory president or whatever he may be. Excuse me. Little cough. All right. So yeah, that was fun. And then we get to our main event. We have Big Strong Mims versus Pope. Now, I'll just run through the notes on this one. This is Pope's comeback match. It's a non-title match because Mims is the North American Heavyweight Champion. Their in-ring promo 2 episodes ago was awesome. So yes, I was excited for this match. I thought maybe we'd get it at 77. But I think we'll get the run back at 77 because Mims is looking to prove he surpassed Pope since he's been gone. Despite commentary saying otherwise, I do see a bit of ring rust on Pope. He did look like there was this one spot. He was coming off the ropes, and Mims is going under. He's jumping over. I'm like, he barely made that jump. He almost, whew. And then Pope gets it's a pretty slow match. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad match. It was all right. And Pope gets the double bare knees to the back for the 3 count over Mims. So, you beat the champion, you're pretty much next in line for the title shot. So I think we're going to see Mims versus Pope at 77. I think we're going to see the run back. See, now I don't know if Mims will defend or not, because post-match we have Mondo and Slade come out and attack Pope, even getting chairs. They're laying it on him. They target his leg. So coming out of this, there's a couple questions. I'm curious to see why Mondo and Slade attacked. I'm wondering if Pope goes for the title shot, or if he has to deal with Mondo and Slade first. Or if he does go for that title shot, are there going to be, distractions, interference, confusion from Mondo and Slade aiding Mims? There's a lot going on here. Now, what did this match accomplish? I'd say a great deal. I say this sets up NWA 77. I think it's going to be a big match on the card. Either the opening or the second to last match. I mean, you have to have Tom Latimer in the main event because he's the world champion. So I imagine we get Tom Latimer and Thrillbilly main event of 77. But Mims and Pope, that'll be great. We're going to get Rich Swann versus Alex Taylor. That's going to be great. Yeah, a couple big names we don't know exactly where they're going yet. Like, who's Knox and Murdoch going to face? Who is Carson Drake going to face? There's a couple things. Tiffany Naev's, who's she facing? But yeah, we're in a stage. I'm getting excited for NWA 77. I think it's going to be a strong pay-per-view event. Obviously, we're going to see the episodes play out on Powerrr from this event. And I have some random notes I wrote. I want to see better written segments. The promos are good. The vignettes are hit or miss, but the writing on the backstage segments specifically can use work. Pope, Thrillbilly, Joe Casana, EC3, and Mims are standouts. And the rest of the locker room should be looking at them for how to really cut a good promo, good vignette, do a good segment. Like, the only segment I remember being, pretty good was Thrillbilly and Mims when they were doing their little thing. I think they were, signing something. It was during the Crockett Cup. But, yeah, we never got that, so it is what it is. I'm excited. Powerrr is moving good. Feels hot right now, coming off the Crockett Cup. Things are a little looser. But yeah, we're definitely going to see some big championship matches coming up. I wonder, is Rhino going to appear again? Of course, we saw Tom Latimer defend against Colby and Rhino in that triple threat match, which was pretty entertaining match, I must say. And, Tom was getting some real heat. Well, people just wanted to see Rhino win. That's really what it was. I don't know if Tom normally has heat like that. I haven't seen him too much. But yeah, Powerrr is good. This is a great show right now. Excited to see what happens next episode. I'll keep, covering Powerrr for the foreseeable future at least, because it's something I'm personally invested in, and it's different, You could find people talking about any WWE event or Raw, SmackDown, NXT, plenty of AEW content out there. TNA, NXT, not as much, but Powerrr, I don't know if I've seen any. So that's why we're doing this. Bring some attention to a great wrestling promotion. Thank you, Billy Corgan. You know what's funny? I actually saw Green Day and the Smashing Pumpkins last year. I think it was around summertime. I'm trying to remember where it was. Was it MetLife? But there was some wrestling going on during the Smashing Pumpkins set, and I wasn't keeping up with WWE again, and I didn't even know Billy Corgan owned NWA. So I was just seeing that, like, is this a WWE angle, But now I know retrospectively, I'm like, oh, that was something related to Powerrr. So that's pretty cool. I didn't know why it was happening, but I liked it. So thank you, Mr. Billy Corgan, for providing this source of entertainment. So yeah, that's this episode. If you watched this week's episode of Powerrr, let me know what you think in the comment sections below. And that's about it. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.